Hello, Cal Parents. Welcome to Cal Parents Facebook Live. My name is Margo Bennett, and I am the UC Berkeley Chief of Police. I've been on this campus for 17 years. Came here in 2002, brought my two children over from Virginia, and we began our life here in Berkeley. I've served as a police captain, and I have been the police chief for the past six plus years. I'd like to take a little bit of time to talk to you about my tenure here on the Berkeley campus and UCPD, University of California, Berkeley Police Department at Berkeley. We love this campus. I love this campus. I came here because I wanted to work and continue my career in higher education, and what better place to be than in Berkeley. I mean, this is just the top of the world when it comes to policing on a dynamic campus. We have budget for 56 police officers. They are state sworn police officers, go through a 6-month training academy, then they come to our campus, and we spend 16 weeks acclimating them to the campus and to the campus community. We have a 24/7 operation here with full-time 911 dispatchers. Our officers patrol using cars, bicycles, on foot. We meet with committees around the campus all the time. We have security guards that are in certain buildings, specified buildings, and we have community service officers. Hopefully some of you know what our CSOs and know who our CSOs are. They're student employees. They literally run our night safety program. We couldn't do our safety program without them. If your student is interested in being a CSO, we are constantly hiring. We're bringing our numbers up from 70 to 120. We start out paying $18 an hour. They need to work a minimum 12 hours a week, no more than 20. We realize their studies are the most important thing, and again, they're a critical function for us as we interface with the campus community. So we've gotten some questions from the parents, and I'd just like to go through those. First question is explain how UCPD works on the Berkeley campus and some of the other things that UCPD is involved in. We have jurisdiction that's given to us by the state for all of the campus properties. Our authority runs statewide, so that means that I could go down to UCLA, I could go to UC San Diego, or any of the other 9 campuses and have the same authority that I have on the Berkeley campus. Our jurisdiction runs 1 mile outside the campus proper, but we have properties that are in Oakland with the Office of the President. We have Richmond Field Station. University Village is our family housing in Albany, California, and there are some other rental properties that we have throughout the city of Berkeley. So we're in and about the Alameda County and Contra Costa County area all day long and all night long. We have, starting this year, an advisory board. I'll talk more about that later. And again, our officers are sworn throughout the state post standards and training criteria. The collaborative process between UCPD and BPD is pretty strong. We work with them. Our campus is bordered and entwined in the city streets. We can't do our work without them. They can't do their work without us. Our Greek housing is in city property. Our res halls are university property. People's Park is university property. All of that is surrounded by city streets. So we have a very good, solid working relationship that's getting stronger and stronger every time we have opportunity to work together. Another question is more current. It's how has the safety and security of our students been this semester? We have seen, we do our crime measurements through a calendar year, and we have seen that through 2019, crime is a bit lower than it was last year in 2018. But to put that in perspective, we had like 10 robberies in 2018. Keep in mind, we've got 42,500 students and close to 20,000 individuals who work here, both faculty and staff. 10 robberies for that group within our core campus is it's a pretty decent ratio, although we really want to get it down to 0. And we work within the campus proper to make sure that we're present in the walkways. We have video cameras up throughout the campus. We have well over 1,000 cameras up throughout the campus to help deter crime. Now, in the city streets, things are a little bit different. We are an urban campus. We're surrounded by an urban environment. There are individuals that come into our campus knowing that the students here have virtually, I call it anything that begins with an I. They use it in their class studies and their ways to stay connected with the world. Our biggest problem this year, as in years past, is with larcenies. Another question that we received was, what are the trends nationally and locally on university campuses? Very similar to ours. When you look in an urban environment, or if you go to a rural one, the larcenies and the thefts are the biggest things that our students have to deal with. We will typically lose close to 200 bicycles a year, a little bit less than that of laptops. And we urge our students that if you leave your dorm, you need to make sure you lock your doors and your windows locked. If you're in the library and you're studying and you need to get up and either go to the restroom or go find some materials, you should take your laptop with you and your phones with you, because if you leave it unattended, there's no real guarantee it's going to be there when you come back. So certainly we want our students to be aware of what's going on around them. Another question is, what should students be alert for? What can parents buy to prevent some thefts? Are there certain locks or other devices that can prevent theft? Well, a good thief, if he or she is determined, is going to deter most anything that you can come up with. We tell our students to, when they're walking around the campus or walking back to their dorm or out to dinner or a social activity, to really maintain their situational awareness. That means pay attention to where you are and what's going on around you. You cannot do that if you have your phone in your hand and you're looking down texting, or you have earbuds in your ears. We tell them, put that stuff away. A, it's visible and it's attractive to anyone who wants to try and take it from you. But B, it keeps you from knowing what's going on around you. So it's real important to maintain that situational awareness. Walk in groups. That again allows you to watch after one another. Don't walk in the dark. We have our CSOs, when I was talking about our night safety program, they run what we call our Bear Walk program. Call a number, get the app. It'll take 10 minutes to 15 minutes for us to get to you, and we give you a personal escort back to your dorm or within a 4-block radius of the campus. Regarding protecting laptops, bicycles, there are locks that allow you to lock your laptop down to the desk in the dorm rooms. That's not very effective in the libraries. So again, the biggest thing is to hold on to it, take it with you wherever you have to go. If your laptop should get stolen, know the serial number on it. It helps us get it into the system right away. There's also tracking software that you can load onto it that will help us. It's much like a LoJack in a car. It will help us locate that device quickly. When it comes to bicycles, the heavy-duty U-locks that go on the bicycles deter the most of the bikes being stolen. Chains get cut quickly, small cables. We just arrested a guy last night that was trying to get a U-bolt off, and because it's so hard, it gave us opportunity to get to him and stop the theft that was occurring. Another question and concern is, how safe are the res halls for the students living there? You know, we have 8,000 plus that are living in res halls around us, and we work closely with RSSP. They have a real good security program that's set up. They have security monitors that are on the entryways of the res halls until about 3 in the morning. All of the res halls are locked, card key entry, and they take great care in maintaining those security monitors. After they go off duty, our CSOs work until 6 in the morning. Tell your CSO they can come and choose what hours they want to work. They work until 6 in the morning, patrolling around the different res halls, checking the exterior doors, making sure that the educational labs are empty and locked up. We also have video cameras around many of the res halls and future ones that are planned to go into other res halls. So let's talk about lighting on the campus. The question was, what kind of efforts has the university gone through to increase lighting? There was a study that was dedicated in 2016 and 17 to study lighting. $2 million have been given to take a look at the lighting interior to campus and make recommendations. That study completed, and in 2018, the university, particularly facility services, installed LED lights in all of the light poles, plus added light poles to the campus. We did our Fiat Lux walk last November. It actually looked pretty good. We walk around about 9 o'clock at night. It looked pretty good. We still have some dark spots in the city, and we're constantly working with the city of Berkeley to change out lamps that have burned out. And the students have been on a campaign to leave your porch light on so that the residential areas could be lit up a little bit better than they are. Overall, we have done the switch out of LEDs in all of the lampposts, and the lighting on campus is pretty good. We'll be doing another walk probably early November to take a future look at lighting and what other areas need to be improved. So what's new for our department and what's working well? A new thing on the campus that came as a result of the Presidential Task Force on Campus Policing is the creations of some new initiatives on campus. One of which, the one that we're in the midst of right now, is the creation of the Independent Advisory Board. This board is made up of an even number of faculty, staff, and students. It's co-chaired by a member appointed by the ASUC and also by a faculty member. Nikki Jones is our faculty member in African American Studies, and Rachel Roberson is the individual that the ASUC selected to co-chair. We're going to be looking at ideas, thoughts, and concerns about policing on campus and how to improve the delivery of services as well as the relationship building between the police department and our student body and our employees on the campus as well. We do know that a lot of this is going to depend on the campus's ability to really support the police department. We've like other departments in Berkeley, have gone through some budget cuts. We're in the rebuilding process now, and I really do have an optimistic view of the future of the service component of policing that we have on our campus. Another question is pretty a recent one and a pretty important one. It's about crime and how we've seen a number of grab and run computer robberies around the campus, not on the campus proper, but usually in the open air coffee shops that are on Bancroft and Telegraph. How prevalent is this? Yeah, we made an arrest last year that really slowed it down. However, we just noticed another theft within the past couple of days, and as we're getting closer into the holiday season with Thanksgiving and the curtailment holidays that are coming up, we usually see an uptick in thefts, and so we're going to be focusing on those areas and working with the city of Berkeley as well with their police department in providing more presence in those areas. With here's a really good question. With the diverse student body that we have, how do your officers create an environment where students feel safe approaching them freely? That's a challenging question, and I'm glad somebody asked it. You know, we have young adults coming in to our institution here. They have lived, 17, 18, 19, 20 years before they even get here, and they come with certain opinions and interactions with law enforcement. So our goal is to try and develop personal relationships with them. We're hoping that the Independent Advisory Board is able to help us. We want to do a number of listening sessions. We want to establish liaisons with the different student groups. We do have officers that are making some headway in developing relationships with our Black Student Union. We have an officer who is a liaison officer with our LGBTQ, as well as with our Palestinian and Israeli student groups. And it's an opportunity every time we turn around to reach a hand out. We do ride-alongs with the public. A couple of our professors are actually pretty good about telling their students, in order to get some credit in this class, you need to contact UCPD and go for an hour-long ride-along with them. It's a perfect opportunity for us to let the students get to know us as human beings, and also get to know the students and what they're interested in and how they're doing at Berkeley. And it just so happens to also be a good way to recruit for future police officers. So it's a plus every time we turn around. Another question is, if a student witnesses or is the victim of a crime, what's the best way to report it? We have a telephone number that we tell all students, program into your cell phone. It's 510-642-3333. That number is designed to come to us. We don't have to worry about where's the cell tower and which 911 station is it going to. It comes to us as a 911 call. That's the best way to report a crime in progress or a crime that has just recently occurred. If they discover that their bicycle has been missing since September, my recommendation is to call 642-6760 or come into the lobby at the police department. We can take a police report, we can get resource services to the student, we can input the serial number into the law enforcement criminal database and get started working on the case there. But if there's a crime in progress or something that's happened very recently, like when I say very recently, I mean in the past 15 minutes, then call 510-642-3333 and tell us what's going on. We'll be responding there. It's also another thing for you to note that we listen to the Berkeley PD radio all the time. It's in our cars. And when we hear that there's some call of activity that is in a 4-block radius of us or on the Greek areas, we respond to those right away so that we can be there. And most times we are there before the city of Berkeley gets there. We have a shorter distance to go, so we're there faster than the city of Berkeley, and get started working the case, and then we turn it over to the city officers that arrive. How about that earthquake that was here last night? I'm sure some of your students have called you and said, hey, it was my first earthquake. It wasn't too bad. I mean, it was in the Walnut Creek area. My daughter lives in Martinez, and she said that just about knocked her out of bed, but it was a quick one, and it doesn't seem to have caused any problems in the area. It's kind of like an initiation phase, too, to the University of California. So what's the university's commitment to alcohol and drug safety education programs? Really, the drug safety and education programs are centered under the University Health Services. So the Tang Center has the top spot in putting those programs together and delivering them. We are usually the ones that get called into the rest halls in the wee hours of the morning after a student may have had too much to drink or wasn't sure what kind of drugs they were taking. We bring Berkeley Fire Department in to assess the medical condition of the student. If it's necessary, they get transported to Alta Bates Hospital, and we in turn take a case report on it. We don't take any criminal action on those kinds of things. We take no criminal action on anyone who calls us and says, hey, we've been to a party and my friends had too much to drink, or I think something's wrong. We welcome those kind of calls. We will, on people who go to the hospital, we will refer them on to student conduct so they can refer them into those drug and alcohol programs that can ideally educate them and point them in a different direction as they're going through their campus life here. So what's the latest deal with People's Park? We're excited about that. Really, the People's Park has been some unused or underused space on the campus for a long, long time. And I will tell you, Chancellor Christ has really got some backbone about her and has decided that this is the proper space for additional campus housing. I have tremendous amount of respect for the decisions that she's made and for the challenge that she has taken on. It's going to be turned into a residential housing unit with some social service components to it. We're excited about that. It's the first that I know that we have ever done anything like that. I do believe there was going to be some challenges as we get into the construction phase, which will probably get started in the next couple of years. And we will meet those with the compassion and empathy that's needed for turning this historical site into something more modern and that the university desperately needs. We're also there to hold the peace and to make sure that this construction moves forward. So stay tuned. That's going to be something pretty interesting to watch evolve. Let's talk about how we notify our students when something urgent is going on. It could not necessarily be dangerous, but it could be urgent. This past week, we were notified by PG&E that our power was going to be cut off because of the dry winds, the low humidity, and the amount of fuel that was on the ground. We got the notice on Tuesday that they were going to shut off our power on Wednesday morning. Our crisis management team made the decision to cancel classes for Wednesday. PG&E kept pushing that timeline back. It became noon, then it became 2 in the afternoon, then 6 to 8, and then finally at midnight. We decided late in the day on Wednesday that we were going to have class unless the power went out. And they cut our power at midnight. So we were throughout this time period talking with our students through our emergency messaging process. We have emergency messaging called Warn Me. It's WARNME, warnme.com, warnme.berkeley.edu. And our students are automatically enrolled in that. Anybody that has a berkeley.edu email address is enrolled in that. We were sending out notices that way, and our public affairs office opened up a single web page where you could go and learn additional information. We wound up having our PG&E power out for all day Thursday into Thursday night. By canceling classes, we were able to reduce the load on our cogenerational power source, and we were able to maintain the res halls and the dining facility that fed our students. And then we worked on Friday to switch power back over to PG&E and restore card key access to all of the academic buildings. So it was quite a learning experience and an interesting time for us. And, you know, I expect that PG&E may cut our power again. So your students should go into the warnme.berkeley.edu website. Make sure their cell phone number is in there. Actually, you could probably go in and have your cell phone number, have your student put your cell phone number in it, so that the text messages that come out about emergency situations go directly to their cell phone, and a supplemental message goes to their email address. Last questions. You want to know about security cameras on campus and at the dorms. Like I said, we have over 1,000 cameras on campus. Those are not cameras that are monitored all the time. No one has staffing for those kind of cameras. Many of them have been installed at the request of departments who want cameras to watch over their valuable equipment, or they want they want a means to record what happens if anything does happen in their facility. We've used the cameras successfully when thefts have occurred in academic buildings. We've used them successfully when things happen on the street and around our res halls. We're able to capture images through some of the cameras that are on the exterior there. And they are part of our life here when it comes to solving crimes and monitoring what's happening on campus. we can set up operations to watch certain parking lots for car break-ins, and our dispatchers will monitor the cameras that are watching those areas. And so they are very much a contemporary part of crime prevention and crime reduction. We use them and we install them and we manage them. They have to be approved and installed by UCPD, so they're all on the same platform and we have access to them. Plus, we have to watch and make sure that privacy rules are not violated at all. The academic use of cameras for research is handled by a different unit. Ours is for the security component. Parents also want to know what the university is doing to keep their students safe. We are making presentations all the time. We have a threat management unit in our police department, and as well as a risk assessment unit, team that takes a look at individuals that may have threatened or seem to be having some emotional crisis. We're monitoring that sort of stuff. All of our officers go through frequent active shooter training. We do it in depth once a year and then several times reviewing it throughout the year. We have a program where we can go into the res halls, and we usually do it at the beginning of the semester, and do how to survive an active shooter presentation. We answer questions. We do presentations on RAD, rape aggression defense, for females and for children. And there's a lot of things that we're trying to do to reach out and touch our community to help them take care of themselves and know how to be resourceful for themselves and for others. So I think that our time together is pretty good right now. Feel free to email me at bennettm@berkeley.edu, BENNETTM@berkeley.edu, should you have any questions or concerns. That's it. Thank you, and go Bears.